Duane Morrow, 52 years old, Reynolds, Georgia.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up right here in Taylor County, a small county, rural county, less than 2,000 people in the town here. But I grew out outside of town in the country here, and it was a great upbringing. I wouldn't say I was ever a kid. My mother was a pretty cool entrepreneur herself, and so she never really liked kids.
No?
No, what she liked was well behaved young adults, no matter how old they were. And that's what I've always been. I'm an only child. And I grew up working from an early age, 6 or 7 years old. I was, working around this farm, working around my mother's business, working in our own yard, earning money early as a young kid. And being very taught to be very respectful to adults, taught to have a work ethic, taught to have a positive attitude, and being around an entrepreneur and my mother, taught to, you know that you can make it on your own. And so, yeah.
Okay. Do you look up to your mother then? I hear a lot of praise for her.
Yeah, I would say, mother was the foremost influencer in my early life, as a mentor, as a mother.
Yeah.
And she, was a person that she had a strong faith. She had a strong work ethic. She had a positive attitude. And no one was going to outwork her. No one was going to outthink her. She never worked for a person or company a day of her life. She was always an entrepreneur owning her own businesses.
How do you feel your upbringing has influenced your current life position?
Yeah, I would say my upbringing, especially at an early age, with my mother being an entrepreneur that she was, attitude, work ethic, and my adopted Uncle Will here on the farm that taught me work ethic. And he was very colorful in his language and harsh sometimes, but also just taught me some real valuable lessons that have really carried me through life substantially.
What were some of those valuable lessons?
I would say it's work ethic and attitude, and just the fact that you can do anything if you put your mind to it.
How exactly did you become disabled?
I became disabled while living and working in England playing rugby recreationally. I was playing on two teams one night in London, had a great game. I was playing hooker, which is the center of the scrum. We beat another team by 5 tries, didn't go down in the game.
Five tries, is that like five points?
That's like 5 touchdowns,
Okay.
and then it's 5 points a try, and then you kick for 2 points. And so after the game, I went home, and went to sleep. Woke up the next morning, drove from London to Bristol. Was in a business meeting. My left leg started shutting down. Within 15 minutes, my whole body had shut down.
Was that scary for you? What was going through your mind as you were losing the feeling?
Yeah, it was. You don't know what's going on. I was in a little pain from the game the night before, but when I got to the hospital, they thought it was like a viral attack of my spinal or nervous system, because it wasn't necessarily a visible traumatic injury. They immediately brought me in and did X-rays and MRI, and knew it wasn't viral. Knew that it was spinal, and immediately came back and said, "You got to have surgery now. If not, you're going to die."
Okay.
And so,
Did you have anyone with you? Any family members with you?
um, no family members were with me there. I'd driven 2 hours away, and so when I went to the hospital, they called, and my wife did show up at the hospital and was there for the decision to have surgery. Basically, what had happened, I had a bulging disc that compressed my spine, started swelling to the point of quadriplegia. They operated on me there, replaced my disc at C6-7, and then flew me back to Atlanta 7 days later, to the Shepherd Center.
Obviously, we all go through those moments of just being really scared about what's going on and in the moment. What was the scariest thing just after you had become disabled?
I think the scariest thing was I going to live? And at 36, I hadn't done a lot of estate planning, pre-planning for my family and so forth. And so that became very evident that I needed to get those things in order.
Did you feel like you might have been a burden to those around you?
Yeah, I definitely felt like I was a burden just because people had to feed me, clothe me, help me in and out of cars. I mean, it was very depressing that I'd never been sick. I'd never been in the hospital. I was always the provider. I was always the tough guy. And then all of a sudden, I'm the invalid, and my family's having to take care of me. My wife actually had two young kids, 3-month old and 18-month old in diapers, and she has me in diapers. Um, didn't deal with that well, and didn't deal with, even when I started therapy, the recovery was very slow. My left toes didn't start wiggling until 90 days after my injury. Um, and even though I was working hard and had a great attitude, I wanted things to happen faster. I'm not a real patient person. I woke up the next morning paralyzed from the chest down, and it was okay. I was okay with being a cool guy in a wheelchair. I was okay that if I passed away, great. If I'm gonna walk again, great. But it was just one day at a time. It's like eating the elephant one bite at a time. It's learning how to feed yourself again. It's learning how to dress again. It's learning how to shave again. It's eventually learning how to stand up again. You know um, the ability to deal with something like that, though, is not something I see people handle well most of the time. Uh,
How did you become mostly independent and not in need of assistance, especially with your daily living needs?
I became independent day by day. Had a great OT, occupational therapist at the Shepherd Center that, taught me how to, put on my clothes, button a shirt, do my bowel and bladder and things of that nature. Teach me how to transfer in and out of a shower or bathtub, in and out of a car. Had a great driving school there that certified me in hand controls. And that was all good inside the hospital environment. But then I had to go home and leave the safe place. And it was very scary going home because you had to figure out how to adapt in a new world and get over your own thresholds and your own steps and your own bathroom, your own shower. And so that was me more trial and error, but also getting other friends in wheelchairs to come to my house and say, this is how they would do it. And they shared and taught me from a mentor type relationship. We're in a really good place mentally, spiritually, physically. Family loved me, great people around me. And a lot of people think, that life was kind of over. I should be depressed or sad. I really wasn't.
How did you overcome those mental roadblocks with your disability?
Yeah, I overcame the mental roadblocks simply by having people roll in my room that had overcome similar injuries. And, they had actually broken their neck or back, and they were still going on with life. They were working, they were playing sports, they were raising kids, and that gave me great hope. There were days when I wondered if I was ever going to be able to drive a car or dress myself or jump on a four-wheeler or jump on a tractor. And I got to meet people that had already overcome that. And so those guys would come into my room and give me great encouragement and hope, but actually how to transfer into a car, how to drive a car, how to overcome XYZ challenge. And that was priceless. Getting to see those men and women carrying on with life gave me the hope that I could do the same.
What kind of things have you modified, maybe around your home or here at the farm, actually, to help better be accessible for life?
You learn that there's really nothing that you can't do if you adapt it and if you have the money to do it. I've done the basic things, ramps and grab bars, in the bathroom and shower. Even put in an elevator at my house so that I could go up and down to the different levels. Um, but obviously golf carts, four wheelers that are accessible, tractors, anything of that nature. We've made it accessible so that you can still have fun. Deer blinds and things of that nature around the farm here. The pool I had just built just has a roll in, shallow end, and things of that nature. But, you know, there's no reason for you not to do whatever you want to do. You know,
So, what are some of the activities that you do nowadays?
the things I do now, I play wheelchair rugby, I race marathons, I play softball, I play snow ski, water ski, ride four wheelers, hunt, fish, kayak, jump out of planes, dive with sharks. If it goes fast, I want to drive it. So I also just really do anything I want to around the farm now. I can jump on a tractor, things of that nature, and go kayaking down the Flint River, and
Do you have any other sports that you play now?
I also race marathons and 5 and 10K races, and currently third fastest quadriplegic in America. And so
Congratulations.
win a bunch of races and some in top three in a bunch of races on a regular basis, and do that to stay in shape. That's my individual sport. Rugby's a great sport. I play wheelchair rugby now.
Yeah.
Still trying to break my neck. We took D2 national championship last year.
What's
and
D2?
Division two national championship in the U.S., which actually the first 8 teams are Division one. The next 8 teams are Division two,
Okay.
and so really the ninth best team in the nation.
Congratulations.
So there you go. So, but Division two champ sounds better.
Alright. So, does your disability still scare you today?
But it's always there. It's self-evident. I wake up, with a lot of pain and in a fetal position and need to straighten my body and things of that nature. But the thing that's probably most foremost in my mind is that people with this disability have a shortened life expectancy. And so I'm 52 now. Who knows how much more time I have. I'm definitely prone to health issues like skin issues and breathing issues and things of that nature that could potentially shorten my life. My life is, for me, more YOLO than ever. Okay, you only live once. I mean, wake up today, you better make the most of it because you don't know how many you have.
What advice do you have for your past self or someone who could become a paraplegic or a quadriplegic individual?
Yeah, I think the advice I would have is, number one, take it day by day. Okay, it's not going to be, as fast as you want it to be. You may or may not get back as much as you want. Be content, but also don't go into a cave and disappear. And don't go be around just able-bodied people, because that can be very depressing. So it's real important just to surround yourself with other people that are like you with similar disabilities that have already overcome your challenges and can share with you how they did it and also bestow hope to you that you can do it too. Make sure you're around other people with similar disabilities on a day in and day out basis, that they become your friends, your mentors, and that you can relate to them and you can have camaraderie with them. If you're only around able-bodied people, then you're the odd person out. You're the odd man or woman out, and you're always having able-bodied people run around wanting to try to help you and open doors for you. Get around some other guys in wheelchairs, and they'll give you positive peer pressure. Can't you get up that hill? Why do you need someone to push you? Or why do you need brakes or a seat belt? And so it's just, and then they're going to be encouraging and show you that you can do something. So you can find those people on social media. You can invite them to your home. You can go out with them, to restaurants, to, events and things of that nature. You can join sports teams and play on adaptive sports teams. Be active, go socialize with people that are like you on a regular basis, that will do a world of good for your psychology and your health. There's no doubt life is tough. Life is different. I mean, you've got to deal with pain, you got to deal with spasms, you got to deal with, you know, bathroom issues, all types of things. But you got to look around every day when you wake up and see if there's any positives. You know, heck, when you end up in a position like this, you get great parking for the rest of your life. And that's just where it starts.